I geek out on taking junk food and just tweaking it and adding in healthy ingredients that don't harm your body, but you're still having a dosa, which is an amazing, it's like a burrito, but naturally gluten-free, naturally fermented. We don't compromise our oils. We don't compromise our sugars.
I've been really looking forward to this segment. It's a new one that we're introducing. It's called Healthy Wellness. I truly believe that there's a difference between health and wellness and healthy wellness. A lot of people go to extremes when they're trying to get well. You crash diets, yo-yo diets, ups and downs, and whatever the snake oil salesman is selling. It's not the healthy approach to go. I think we stumbled across something really, really cool. In fact, I know. It's called Nurture, a wellness marketplace. And joining us today in the brand new Healthy Wellness segment is Kelly Campbell, co-founder, and Elizabeth Woodard. Right?
Woodard, well done.
Woodard.
Well done, yeah.
Oh, well,
One
I
W.
think I could figure that one out. Culinary director. First of all, welcome you guys. Good to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. First of all, describe what is Nurture.
So Nurture is
Bring that microphone right up to you.
All right.
There we go.
How's that?
That sounds good.
Nurture is a health and wellness marketplace located at 29th and Federal. So it's a collective of local businesses, all comprised of all things health and wellness. So there's our cafe, Nest, which is largely a plant-based cafe. And then there's a few fitness studios, childcare, and then 35 suites. So all things ranging from Eastern and Western modalities of self-care. So we have massage therapists, acupuncturists, nutritionists, stretch therapists, barbers, hairstylists, estheticians. We have a whole lot of different mental health therapists as well, trauma specialists, postpartum specialists. And then we have a few other services as well, infrared sauna and Himalayan salt cave. So however you define self-care, our hope is that we've encompassed that. And kind of what you were talking about earlier in terms of the spectrum, right? And so that it doesn't have to be this sort of radical approach, but your self-care should be radical, and that you are committed to feeling good. And so for me, that may look like going to a class and then meeting a girlfriend for a glass of wine. And then the next week, it may look like seeing my therapist, and then enjoying like a really nourishing bite of food by myself with a book. And so we kind of like to create that opportunity without creating, sort of that approach that it needs to be all or nothing, or that it needs to be, rigid and unapproachable. And so in terms of the environment itself, we try and keep it not pretentious. You don't have to pay to come. It's completely open to the public. And that's what we call it, home to the whole human. So no matter what part of the human you're addressing, it's a place to take care of yourself.
Wow. I mean, and that's why one segment's not going to do this justice. We're
No.
anything for guys going through menopause.
Yes. Yes, there's 17 specialists.
That's where I come in.
That's where you come in. Truly, it's kind of a la carte. You just figure out, you go in, you settle in, you look around. It's a family kind of oriented place, and you become friends with people, and you bring your own friends in. But really that holistic approach to where, we're offering this. You need that? No? Okay. Then go to the next thing. And there's so many things in there. I wouldn't even know where to begin. So how can people do their research?
So we have, starting on our website, we have all of the providers sort of listed. So you're able to explore each of the members there. And then also we have health coaches. So you can come in and just say like, you know what, I'm feeling lethargic. My back, my neck, like whatever you're experiencing, and that health coach for free will do that session for you to help navigate the building and all of the options that are available to you. And we believe that we've really done like that vetting process for you. We took a year vetting all of these local businesses in town to say, with confidence that we really have the best massage therapist, the best person to take the culinary piece, in charge of the culinary piece from a functional nutrition aspect, the best barber, the best esthetician, et cetera, so that that when you come in that building, if you are trying something new, you can feel safe that you're in good hands with the best practitioner, from physical therapists, chiropractors, full concierge medicine. You can come in and get your blood work drawn. You can get your annual physical at Nurture. So everything from full care, which we believe is like the next wave of healthcare, or it should be.
I always say know your blood. Know what you're dealing with first. Know what you're working with.
Yeah.
You begin with there. I tuned into a really in the weeds, geeky, esoteric conversation, Elizabeth, that you had. I believe it was you on Instagram. What you were talking about was stress, and a lot of us are going through stress right now, and more than ever. But with that becomes elevated cortisol levels, comes inflammation, all kinds of, I believe I'm one big ball of inflammation right now, and I'm going to address that, and I have before. But you have to unravel the ball of twine. You have to just keep peeling back the layers of the onion to see where you're at. I think that you have all of those capabilities there, but that conversation, that was you, wasn't it?
Yes. Every once a week, I have the pleasure of interviewing one of our practitioners to get everybody exposed to what they do, and also, like you said, just to geek out and learn more about their practice, and if it pertains to you or not. Because I feel like also, too, with all of these practitioners, sometimes, like Kelly was saying, people don't know exactly who and what they need.
Sure.
And so during this hour, I'm able to get into their practice and who should come see them.
True.
There's tons of little takeaways, too, that people can do in their own homes. And so it's a great way. It's on Nurture's IGTV, so you can go and see most of the practitioners.
And you should. And it really gives a comfort level to the end user to say, you know what, and the end user, you're not going to know all the answers. You just the questions is what you need, and reach out, and don't be afraid to reach out and ask those questions, because some people think, I don't want to feel dumb, or I should know
Beth
this.
Questions every day. I'm like, what's that? And she's like identified a new way to build a new recipe with, XYZ ingredients, and I'm like, I can't even pronounce that, Beth. And she's like, well, that's not your job too. Your job is to show up and trust me. And try the baobab, and I'm like, yes, baobab.
The baobab. And too, what's amazing about having all these practitioners in one home is that, let's say you go and see an acupuncturist, and you're going through your session, and she might be like, who you actually need to see is Dr. Rochelle across the way, and she'll help you with your hormone panel. So, like, I have a team upstairs that I'm working with. And I've gone through my own health journey, and where I'm at now in 6 months, just by seeing these people, I cannot even tell you.
Well, look at you guys. It's like you climbed the mountain. You guys are gorgeous and very smart and put together, and this must
baobab.
be where...
It's the baobab.
Yeah, what they don't know is they're 110 years old.
Yeah.
But long living. People want to live long, but you want to have that great quality of life. Mind, body, and spirit. You do some spiritual type of stuff as well there too, right?
Yeah, moon circles and Reiki and healing work, breath work.
I love it.
Sort of the whole fleet of self-care. And I'll tell you, as a small business owner, opening a business in a pandemic, we were supposed to open in March.
True.
And, we hired all these wonderful people. We built this team. We went through training, and then we were shut down before we even had the chance to open. And so I adopted a lot of unhealthy habits, overworking, stressed out, not eating, and just... And
you had to go there.
Yes. And so, and I'm like, I just found myself in this, like, this profound hypocrisy, and I'm like, what am I doing? I have all of these options right at my fingertips, and I'm not doing it. So imagine the rest of the population who literally isn't, not within the brick and mortar, and they're not doing these things for themselves. And it really takes that discipline to say, like, I choose me. I'm going to take care of myself today. So that I can take care of my community. And I think that it just takes that radical moment, where you're just like, you look in the mirror, whatever that is, and you're like, I'm going to take care of myself.
It was funny. You said that there's a Geico commercial that plays that has Dracula on there, and I never thought I would just have that really profound defining moment on a Geico commercial. And here's what it was, and this was just recently. Dracula was crying, and he was sitting there talking to a therapist, and he says, I look in the mirror and I don't even recognize myself anymore. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And the therapist says, well, if you don't see yourself clearly, how can you expect anybody else to?
That's true.
And in my mind, I said, Greg, that's healthy wellness. We need to get back into this, take self-care. And how do you do that? It's one step at a time. And those one steps, the step at a time, it builds confidence. And it builds confidence that you can do more.
Well, you're in control.
You are in control.
You're in control.
I think, too, what's happened is that we've categorized health and wellness. And so people tend to separate it into this category, whereas whether you like it or not, from waking to sleeping, health and wellness is a continuous experience because you are you and that's part of your body. And so the amazing thing about Nurture, too, is that they're normalizing all these services. You know, you don't have to have like a spa day to go into the Himalayan salt cave or like a special occasion to go get a massage. This is to normalize it into an everyday experience. So it's not like you get to this, you know, horrible place where you're like, oh my God, now I'm going to take care of myself. It's an ongoing daily practice and it becomes a part of your daily routine, just like having a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Well, when you get into that mindset is that, it's going to be painful, or this can be, I'm going to get defeated, and this is going to...
I'll start tomorrow.
Set me back. Yeah.
Diet starts Monday.
Yeah. And you do these things, and you're right. It has to become a part of your DNA, the fabric of you. So do you go in kicking and screaming and hating every moment of it? No.
Don't do it. If your instinct, if something in the health and wellness field makes you feel stressed out or like you're dragging yourself, that's probably not the lane you need to go in, which is amazing about Nurtures. We've got so many different lanes. If you don't like that one, go in another lane. But there's a point where it's like you're feeling lazy and you know you should do it, and then there's a point where it stresses you out. So there's a middle line where you probably do need to boot camp yourself a little bit into a practitioner. But then there's the other line where if it's really stressing you out, then you need to listen to yourself and not do that.
Small wins, and you should have fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really it has to be, because that's health.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, that's not healthy.
That's why we wanted to call it healthy wellness. It's really just change that lexicon. Just move the verbiage to. This isn't, when you think of health and wellness, like, oh man, it's not going to taste good. I'm going to sweat a lot. I'll be in pain tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to get out of bed. This is just, okay, where's Taco Tuesday? And you can still do the Taco Tuesday.
You can still do it.
Absolutely.
I'm the biggest proponent for that because Beth told me something, this was probably a year ago, and it was like light bulbs. You know, she's like, for you, I'm obsessed with her coffee cakes, right? I would eat them every day.
Sure.
You know, and she's like, well, you could, but you shouldn't.
Right.
And she's like, and if you're going to eat any coffee cake, you know, the ones without the, you know, refined sugars and everything, like, probably go that direction. But she's like, the amount of stress that's involved in saying no and, like, fighting it and staring across the cafe, like, all day just wanting that coffee cake releases more stress in your body than just eating the coffee cake. So she's like, eat the coffee cake and maybe go take a walk.
Now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm on the Beth chain.
I get called across the spectrum. It's great.
I'm thinking Elizabeth, Beth. You're talking about Beth. Okay, it's you. You're Elizabeth and Beth. I mean, you're absolutely right, and you don't want to stress yourself out with it. But what I like about Nurture is really you're not alone. You have teammates.
Yeah.
And when you put yourself out on an island to do these things, there's a good chance that you're just going to suffocate. Right? When you put yourself out there and the vulnerability and to people that are really trying to strive for the same commonalities, you'll really just get
find
into
your
it.
tribe.
You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. So with this, now that we're just meeting, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we can look forward to learn about you guys coming up?
I'd say it sounds like you're going to meet some of our practitioners.
Yeah.
And so I think they really are, you know, the bread and butter, if you will, of this business.
True.
They're the heart and soul of this marketplace, and they are the experts. And so lean on them. You know, I'm not an expert in any one of those fields, but I know exactly who to ask if I've got, you know, X, Y, Z. And if I don't know and I ask the wrong person, they're going to refer me to their neighbor, you know? And so it's constantly just being open and curious. As I would say, if there's one takeaway, is to just be open, you know, be open with yourself, be easy on yourself, and just small, tiny bits that you can incorporate into your life every day. You know, mine was setting my alarm 30 minutes earlier so I can make sure I get that meditation in. I'm nicer to myself. I'm nicer to my son. I'm nicer to my colleagues. 30 minutes. And that's all it takes, you know. If I take that 20 minutes to get up from my computer to get that, you know, get that fresh air and have a little appreciation for the neighborhood that we reside in, you know, I have to take that for myself. And they're non-negotiable so that I can show up the way that I want to show up.
You know, an Apple Watch reminds you to breathe.
Yeah, I used to have it all the time. I was made fun of it from my friends, and then like give it 2 weeks and my alarm would go off and everybody would stop and take a deep breath. And I was like, you make fun of me now, but we're all doing it.
We're all doing it together. I'll tell you what, when I walk into Nurture, I love the tagline, a Wellcare Marketplace, because it's exactly that. I felt like it was recreation. Like when I was a little kid, I loved to go to Illich's. That was like my thing. Now as an adult, that's my Illich's.
I love that.
And you walk through the door, you feel so comfortable and safe. You get your temperature taken. They ask you if you have any symptoms of anything. You get it. Once you're cleared, then you're in. Mm-hmm. You're in.
You're in.
Yeah.
And it is so great to just see all of these like-minded people coming together in one location. I encourage you to check it out. We're going to see a lot more of you guys. If you're willing.
Please.
Yeah.
Open door.
Oh, my gosh.
But we'll share our experiences. So Jay and I will be there. We're going to go down there tomorrow, check some more things out.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, you're terrified, Jay. Don't be terrified.
You know you're so excited. It's the best day of your life, Jay.
Anything health and wellness, I truly am terrified. And I was listening to Kelly talk about, she says, well, I set the alarm half an hour, earlier so I can get up and do my meditation. And it's like, I've tried that 100 million times.
But have you tried it the right way?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I just wake up knowing
it's your way.
I just wake up knowing there's a half an hour that is extra on that clock.
Well, I think too. Also, with the health and wellness scene, and the thing that I really found really special about Nurture is meeting people where they're at. And that's where we really approached Nest, which we'll talk about later. Is that you can't take someone from eating Doritos to kale chips.
Yeah.
I mean, that's catastrophe.
You're just gonna
right?
lose.
And it's not fun. And if you're, like we were saying earlier, if you're sitting down to a meal and you're not excited, that is not healthy. Like, food is so exciting. I look forward and think about every meal I'm going to have. It's like the best part of my life.
Yeah.
And if meditation isn't your thing and sleep is, you have to meet yourself and embrace yourself at where you're at. If you're trying to bring mindfulness into your daily life, which is what meditation is, that could be walking, that could be having a really meaningful conversation with somebody, because they both are a connection to self. Whether it's through meditation, whether it's through walking, whether it's through having a great conversation, Jay, with Greg, like you guys just geeking out on something, and you walk away feeling really excited and connected. That's the same feeling you're going for. And so with Nurture, with all these modalities, with Nest, like I geek out on taking junk food and just tweaking it and adding in healthy ingredients that don't harm your body, but you're still having a dosa, which is an amazing, it's like a burrito, but naturally gluten-free, naturally fermented. We don't compromise our oils. We don't compromise our sugars. All of our animal products are organic.
We got to look at that then. That's I think we've figured out what we want to talk about for Friday.
Yeah, but well, there we go. But it literally just coming back to is meeting yourself where you're at and embracing that and taking it steps at a time.
I think everybody's trying to figure out how to feel like they did when they were a little kid.
Yeah.
When you just bounced out of bed.
Yeah.
And your eyes were bright, and I'd put little stars on the ceiling and just look at them glow.
Psilocybin man.
And
That'll be our next episode.
but I would draw, and I would love to just go out and play kick the can in the street. And I'm not saying you're going to do that again, but if there's an activity that you like to throw a Frisbee around or throw the football around with your butt,
that's your meditation.
That's
your meditation.
The things that you like there. We're going to get to know each other so much. And I appreciate you guys coming down
Us
here.
too. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
That's Beth now.
Well, yeah, sure. Beth, Ellie, Elizabeth, Robin, you got it.
Where's Robin come in?
My first name.
You told him.
I know.
Wow.
Whoops. Wow, we really
right
got
there.
Did the quick.
That's usually like 2 years in.
Okay, I won't do that.
No, that's okay.
Thanks, Beth. Kelly, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg.
All
It's
right.
been great.
Nurture, a Wellcare Marketplace. We'll learn much more about that. We'll break off, come back, and we can have a beer, though, right?
Yes.
If that's your, if it comes out of a place of inspiration, for sure.
It comes from a place
we serve beer at Nurture. We
Do
serve
you really?
natural wine.
We have an amazing bar program.
We call them spirited and free spirit. So for every cocktail we have, we serve a mocktail. So you can have your margarita with Ritual, which is a tequila alternative. Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, well, listen, here's the thing, and no offense to their mocktails, because I haven't tried them, but I'm not a mocktail guy, typically because most of them have too much sugar in it for me to enjoy.
No,
it doesn't. And then, but then B, it's just I'd rather just drink soda water with a lemon and be.
I've
grumpy,
got you. Let
know?
me. You're gonna come in tomorrow, and you're gonna sit at the bar,
and we're gonna mocktail.
and I'm gonna. And you know what? We don't even like that term mocktail because it makes you feel like you're getting like a half
Dumb
experience.
version. Yeah.
We're not mocking anything. We're not pretending to do anything. We're putting a beautiful libation so you can have a great social experience. Okay?
Yeah.
Well said, right? We're going to go have delicious drinks down there.
There you go.
Some will be alcohol-free for you, Jay.
Some
Yep.
won't be.
Some won't
And
be.
I'll have the alcohol full.
I'll take your
expression.
alcohol, Jay.
Tomorrow we might need it.
Hey, not for nothing, but like basically today, yesterday and tomorrow in between here is 4 years sober for me. So
Well
a
done.
little
well
pat
done.
on my back.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Wasn't court ordered either.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I always forget to say that.
We're proud of you, Jay.